Welcome back to What She Says Sports. All right, y'all. So today we have an update to the Quinshon Judkins case. The Fort Lauderdale police, I guess they released a call. It says it's a 911 call, but it's not the typical 911 call that you would hear made picked up by a dispatch. So we're going to talk about this today because I feel like this situation has more questions than it has answers, and you'll see what I mean by that when you hear the call. So remember, this is YouTube. So I don't feel like I can play the call all the way through. I feel like we got to go through the call, listen to a bit of it, comment on it, listen to more sections of it, comment on it. So listen and react, listen and react. So that's what we're doing today. And you might want to get your little notepad ready, your digital notepad, or just get your mind cleared out because you're probably going to want to put a pin in a few things. And the moment you have questions, I want you to start asking them in the chat. If you hear something, you have a question about it, ask the question in the chat because, we go through the chat and we discuss the questions and the comments that are in there. So that's a good way for us to round up all the questions. So let me know if y'all are ready. Let me know if y'all are ready and we're going to get started. Who you're hearing is the accuser. And for Quinshon Judkins, you're hearing the accuser place a call. Listen, and she's talking to Fort Lauderdale police. Now, remember, Quinshon Judkins is from Alabama, went to college in Ohio. So the reason for Fort Lauderdale is because they were in the Fort Lauderdale airport and they were supposed to be on a trip in Fort Lauderdale. So this seems to be neither person's home residence. Okay, so imagine being on vacation and having to contact the police. Okay, all right. Okay, here we go.
Ramifications, can I help you?
Yes, I'm currently outside the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, and I just called 911 because we can't get into the building. But a police officer or the person that answered the call told me that I could call this number and someone was able to walk out the building for me to talk to someone to file a police report. Is there any way someone could walk out the building to talk to me to file a police report?
Okay, are you at the temporary station on Cypress Creek Road?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What address?
Okay, now you heard a male. The question was, are you at the temporary station on Cypress Creek Road? And you heard a male in the background say yes. Is that male Quinshon Judkins? That's the first question that I have. Secondly, as you could tell, this is not your typical, I called 911. They ask if you need fire, police, or ambulance. This is not to dispatch. This is like she called somebody with Fort Lauderdale police. They gave her a phone number to call and to see if they can let them in the building. So it sounds like a visit to a police department. Take a listen. And it's her and a guy. And I'm wondering if the guy is Quinshon Judkins. Okay.
Address did you give for where the incident took place? Because that's the way it's supposed to be entered into the system.
The incident that I want to file was at
what's that address?
In Fort Lauderdale. I can look up the address.
Hang on, before you do that, when you spoke to the other operator, did you give them the address?
No, she gave me this number and she said that someone could come out and talk to me for me to file a police report, but I can give you the address of where the incident took place.
Okay, so she called the police department. Doesn't sound like she called 911. Sounds like she called the police department and she wanted to file a report, and they gave her this number that she's calling to file a report. It doesn't sound like a typical 911. Do you need a fire, police, or ambulance? Where, when people are panicked, hurry, sense of urgency. It just sounds like she was trying to get in touch with the police department. But you let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Hold on one second, because I'm trying to figure out if a call was entered for you already, in which case, yes.
It wasn't because
it should have.
I'm not sure if it was, but she just gave me this address.
Okay, so we're going to start from scratch and see what happens. Hang on one second.
Okay, there's no 911 call logged. That's what he's saying. So we're going to start from scratch. I'm going to take your information. So y'all get it. This is not a 911 call. 911 Atlanta PD, do you need fire, police, or ambulance? This is not that. This is, I want to make a police report, and they're telling her how to do it. Gave her this number. She gets this officer. He looks for a 911 call. There is none. She said there likely isn't one. So he says, I'm going to start fresh. Just listen. All right. And we're going to go back over it. So don't feel like if you don't catch it the first time, we won't get it. We're going to listen to this more than once.
What happened?
I had a high profile male that I was in a relationship with put his hands on me.
When did that happen?
This happened 3 days ago.
So that would have been the 9th of July?
It was the night of, I can tell you right now. Sorry, I'm trying to go on my phone.
You're fine. Is there a reason that you didn't call the day that the incident occurred?
Yes, there is, because I thought that we could work through it, and obviously we couldn't. So,
okay. So did you get that? The officer wanted to know when it happened. She's not sure the date. She's looking. He said, is there a reason why you didn't call when the incident first happened? Did you hear what she said? I thought we could work through it. I thought we could work through it, but obviously we can't. What does that say to you? What there's no sense of urgency. You don't know immediately when it happened. And I thought we could work through it, but obviously we can't. Now listen, keep listening.
I'm trying to do the right thing now, but the situation happened on Tuesday. Monday, it's early Tuesday, so like around like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Tuesday.
Because that would have been July 8th.
Correct.
Did you have to go to the hospital for any medical treatment?
I didn't go to the hospital for medical treatment, but I will say that I am still in pain, and I have a lot more of my story to tell. I just need to, and I still have visible bruises and evidence on my body of the.
Okay, did you hear that? I'm still in pain. I didn't go to the hospital for medical treatment, but I'm still in pain. And I have a lot of my story to tell. That's the part that got me. I have a lot of my story to tell. And yeah, so just we're going to get back to that part. So just listen. Let me know as we go through this in the comments, what are your thoughts about what she's saying? She didn't seek medical treatment. She had a lot of more of her story to tell, and she's still in pain. Okay. All right.
Of it.
Okay, so do you need paramedics for any reason right now?
No, sir.
All right, may I have your first name, please? What's the phone number you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
Okay, and you'll be waiting outside in your vehicle?
Okay, she asked the guy, whoever's with her, now they're in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm thinking that's Quinshon Judkins. She's like, what's your phone number? And then he starts to say his number. As you could tell, they blocked out her name. And then she asked him, the guy that you could hear, that's not the cop, what's your phone number? And he starts to say what it is.
No, we are outside the building in person.
Okay, so you're standing by the front door.
Correct, where there's a button that says press.
Okay. So I have the call in. We're going to have a officer meet you outside, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're going to listen to it again. So you heard that, right? So they're at the police station. So if that's Quinshon, if it's not an unidentified male, drove her to the police station. She got the address. When she called the police to file a report, they told her where to go. She called the number that they gave her. Once she got outside, the officer picked up the phone. She made the report on the phone that you heard. and now the officer's sending somebody to the door to let them in. So essentially, at about 2 or 3 in the morning around July 8th, she realized they couldn't work it out. They couldn't work it out. And she want to make a report. And it sounds like Quinshon, or the unidentified male, who could be Quinshon Judkins or somebody else, drove her to the police station and, answered some of the questions, provided his phone number. He wasn't resistant. It was given to me, well, if you want to go to the police station, I'll drive you. That's what it is. If you want to file a report, I won't stop you. I'll drive you. Go ahead. That's what it's given to me. So I'm gonna look at some of y'all's comments, and we're gonna go back over this. We're gonna go back over it again, because y'all probably have, like me, see, I listened to it and I was thinking to myself, I don't hear any sense of urgency. It was troubling that she said, I thought we could work it out. So he punched you in the mouth at the airport, and then you say he hit you when you got in the back seat, and y'all kept starting and stopping. And somewhere 24 hours later, when y'all are on vacation, you figure y'all can't work it out. And 3 days later, you reported, you don't call 911. Y'all called his mom, but y'all didn't tell her anything. You didn't go to the hospital, and he there with you and drove you to the police station, and you have more of your story to tell. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments, because this is a little weird to me. The whole thing is just weird to me at this point. So hey everybody, hey, how you doing? If you're just not joining us, we listen to I hate to call it a 911 call. We listened to a call made by the accuser in Quinshon Judkins situation. It's not your typical 911 call or anything like that. It's weird, in my opinion. I feel sorry for Quinshon Judkins a little bit. Let me tell you why. It sounds like he in a situation and he don't know how to handle it, right? He clearly, if that's him in the background, he drove her there. He answering the questions. She turns to him like, "What's your phone number?" He gives his number. I feel like she got him over a barrel. That's what it's given to me. Let's see. It says Bianca says she's I don't think she is Bianca. It wasn't given that. That's the reason he was arrested. I don't know. I don't know if that's what she was. It wasn't given that to me. The incident happened several days before she went to the police, right? And what we're listening to is the call she made. And I'm starting to wonder if he drove her to the police department. She made the report. When they came outside to let them in, they looked at the pictures she have. She told them what was going on, and they arrested him on the spot because he drove her there. It said, don't think about him. Don't think that's him in the background, but who knows? So you don't think that that's him, miss, anyway. There's a guy with her, and I don't know who else it would be, because they don't live in Fort Lauderdale, from what I understand. A high profile male, definitely coach. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Bianca. I was like, Quinshon Judkins is not high profile. Now, Shadua Sanders is. But Jerry Judy probably is. But Quinshon Judkins is not high profile. And when she said that, I felt like she was reaching. I felt like it was given, she wants this to be more than it truly is. It said it's a non-emergency number. Okay, yeah. And I don't think you should call that a 911 call. I think it's a non-emergency call. Tina, thank you for pointing that out. Bianca said it's given blackmail. That it's given she got him over a barrel. He ain't gonna stop her from making the call. I do think that might be him in the background. I don't know who else will be with her in Fort Lauderdale while they on vacation. It seems like he drove her there. He was there when she made the call. Maybe because he like, well, I did hit her, so I guess I could go. If that's him, we don't know. We truly don't know, but somebody's with her. And she did say, "What's your phone number?" I'm like, are they calling from his phone? So I don't really know. It's just kind of weird. Unless she went to knocked on a random door and asked to use their phone or something. But again, there's no stress. There's no sense of emergency. And you could even kind of hear the officer was like, "Well, why didn't you call when it happened?" Right? It says she was mad that he broke up with her. That's what it's given. That's what it's given. That's what it's given. I thought we could work through it. Work through what? You said he punched you in the mouth, And then when you sat in the back, I mean, if somebody punch you in the mouth at the airport, I think you should get back on the next plane. I don't think you should get the back seat and then give them the opportunity to beat you up some more. And then you call his mom, but not say nothing. Then y'all start your trip and then y'all can't work through it. It seems like when he said, I'm done with you, something happened and we don't know what it is. I'm done with you. And how do y'all get to this car? How do y'all starting and stopping? Did he want her to get out the car? It's giving Xavier Worthy, I'm breaking up with you. And she's like, well, since we can't work it out, I'm gonna file this police report and I'm gonna turn you in. That's what it's given. And today, I think a Portland Trailblazer player, they said he got 8 years in his case. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's a lot of this happening. Only said gold digger. Sony says giving gold digger. When she said a high profile male, I'm like, no, he not. He's not a high profile male, because if you just walk into a random I don't know, restaurant and say something about Quinshon Judkins out loud, and he walk in, nobody gonna know who he is. I wouldn't even know who Quinshon Judkins was if he wasn't hanging out with Shador. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's how I know who he is, because he was on that video with Shador when Shador was they was getting ready to go outside and he was telling him about putting his socks on right. Otherwise, I don't know Quinshon Judkins. It says she's reaching. Facts. It's like she think there's more to this than there really is. And, you know, I don't know her family. And I know Quinshon Judkins has sisters. I don't wonder what they think, right? Because this sounds like somebody who thinks there's more here than there is. Not just in the relationship, but in his pockets. That's what it's given. I'm with a high profile male. So what make you think that? So that means you know him from either Alabama, where he's from, and he's a local celebrity, or you know him from Ohio State, where he was one of the best players they had. I'm going to go with Ohio State, because he might have been the big man on campus at Ohio State. But girl, we don't know who he is. Okay, we don't know who he is. I kind of feel sorry for him, because I don't know if he's there, if that's him, with her because he truly likes her, or he don't know what to do, or I don't know. But I don't know who else could be with her if she's not from there. Ask it, let me use your phone. I'm like, I don't know. But she's giving me the impression she thinks she got him over a barrel. That's what it seems like. But I don't understand why she ever had to leave the premises of the airport. How did she say, I thought we could work through it? Work through what? Somebody punching you in the mouth? You gonna work through that? Why would you work through that? Because of the Lamborghini? Because of the money? The timing is very suspicious. Very suspicious. Very suspicious. The situation is just weird. It said, I thought they said 5 days later at first. Well, I think when they reported it in the news, they said 5 days. But according to her, it's 3 days later. Tina says it's a hot mess. It says, so they went back on vacation after this call. You know, I'm at a loss for this, because, okay, she said, I thought we could work it out, but we couldn't. So he punched you in the mouth. Y'all started y'all vacation. It didn't go the way you wanted to. So now I'm going to file this report. And then she says, I have more of my story to tell. So does she want a mini series? Is she trying to tell us that he has a pattern in the history of this behavior, and she didn't report it at Ohio State? That's only more that you have to tell. What else is it you want to tell? Y'all dated from May to December. You didn't even date from January to the beginning of June. And somebody sent a message to me, I think in the comments earlier, and said the gist of it was he took a friend on a trip for a birthday. It was her birthday, nothing more, nothing less, an old friend, not a relationship. She said, I thought we could work it out, but we couldn't. So she kind of verifies that they're not together. She's verifying through her call that the relationship isn't working out, right? There's no relationship. So it's just weird. So they went back on vacation after this call, I guess. Says, y'all keep saying that's what it is, but that ain't what I'm hearing. It says he's young and immature. He might be. This whole situation is weird. Hey, Crowley, how you doing? They said she had pictures of her face and body. I'm assuming that, so when she made her report, she said, oh, wait, let's go back and take a look. Let's go back and take a look. listening. We're going to get through the rest of the comments. Okay. So let's just go back. That way y'all can listen. I'm going to try to get through more of it this time instead of starting to stop.
The Fort Lauderdale Police Department.
Communications, can I help you?
Yes, I'm currently outside the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, and I just called 911 because we can't get into the building. But a police officer or the person that answered the call told me that I could call this number and someone was able to walk out the building for me to talk to someone to file a police report. Is there any way someone could walk out the building to talk to me to file a police report?
Okay, are you at the temporary station on Cypress Creek Road?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What address did you give for where the incident took place? Because that's the way it's supposed to be entered into the system.
The incident that I want to file was at
what's that address?
In Fort Lauderdale. I can look up the address.
Hang on, before you do that, when you spoke to the other operator, did you give them the address?
No, she gave me this number and she said that someone could come out and talk to me for me to file a police report, but I can give you the address of where the incident took place.
Hold on 1 second, because I'm trying to figure out if a call was entered for you already, in which case, yes.
It wasn't because
it should have.
I'm not sure if it was, but she just gave me this address.
Okay, so we're going to start from scratch and see what happens. Hang on 1 second. And what happened?
I had a high-profile male that I was in a relationship with put his hands on me.
When did that happen?
This happened 3 days ago.
So that would have been the 9th of July?
It was the night of, I can tell you right now.
Okay. It's the high-profile male I was in a relationship with. That's the part right there. High-profile male that I was in a relationship with. When did it end? Was it December? Was this a friend trip? It's something going on here. It's something going on here because if you notice, she said she called 911. She just wanted to make a police report. She could have called 911 from wherever they were. They drove to the police station. It's like they got up on a Sunday morning because I think they said it was like 9 a.m. So she's saying at 2 to 3 in the morning, they couldn't work it out. Now, remember, she's saying 2 and 3 in the morning, but they got in town, on the 8th? I'm assuming she's saying they got into town at 2 and 3 in the morning when they were at the airport. And did this something else happen? See, she only reported what happened at the airport. Now it's like she wants to say some other things happened. But when she shared photos with the police, it was of a bruise on her chin. And she says she has more of her story to tell. So I'm not really sure here. I think that might be him who basically drove her to the airport. And because he's there and she has the photos, and like they said, a preliminary investigation had to occur to determine it was domestic violence because it wasn't obvious. That means she has photos. One, they talked about it of the chin, so they arrested him on the spot. That's the only thing that makes sense. Sunday morning, let's get up the police station open. I want to file a report. She could have dialed 911 and said right then and there, they would have sent cops out to the hospital. That's not what happened. They drove to the station. Most people don't do that. Because one, normally when you're in a domestic violence situation, somebody is in fear of being hurt again. This is not giving that, right? This is giving, I'm gonna tell on you. And he going along with it because I don't know what else to do. Maybe if I run away, it's a problem. Did he not call his mom? Did he not call anybody? Now he has a lawyer on record. I checked Broward County court records. I found his case. His lawyer is out of Miami, Mark Silverstein or somebody. So I mean, he got a lawyer that used to be like an assistant DA or assistant state attorney for 9 years. So the person has connections. So he got a high powered lawyer for this. This situation is just a little weird to me. He seems like a nice guy that might be either possibly being railroaded. That's what it's kind of giving, or he know he wrong and he going along with it. So there's nothing else I can do. I messed up. I can't tell. I can't tell. I feel like she's making more of it than it really is. And I'm not talking about the bruises. I'm talking about the nature of their relationship, this trip, a high profile male. He said he was done with me. I didn't know why he would say something like that. You know, the whole thing is just like weird. And it's like she just want to tell, like she said, I have a lot more of my story to tell. If there was any more to the story, he would not be charged with a misdemeanor, right? He's only charged with domestic violence because of this relationship. And it's not clear if they were in a relationship when they went on the trip. It's not even clear if they were rekindling anything. She could just be saying that, right? This is a he say, she say. Because whoever's in the background, if that is Quinshon Judkins, is not aggressive in voice, she's not clearly in fear of him. She didn't make a 911 call. There's no sense of urgency. You could hear him telling, saying where they are located and giving his number. That's not what happens in these situations, because domestic violence often involves abuse and fear. You're not abused by somebody, but I'm not afraid of them. You could have just got back on the plane if it was like that, right? But that's not what happened. It sounded like they were halfway through the vacation, and on Sunday morning, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drive you to the police department. Since that's what you want to do, I ain't gonna talk you out of it. Just let it go. In other words, I ain't gonna let you have me over a barrel. If you want to go to the police station and make a police report, okay. I don't know. That's what it's given. So we'll finish this.
Sorry, I'm trying to go on my phone.
You're fine. Is there a reason that you didn't call the day that the incident occurred?
Yes, there is, because I thought that we could work through it, and obviously we couldn't, so I'm trying to do the right thing now, but the situation happened on Tuesday. Monday, it's early Tuesday, so like around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Tuesday.
Because that would have been July 8th.
Correct.
Did you have to go to the hospital for any medical treatment?
I didn't go to the hospital for medical treatment, but I will say that I am still in pain, and I have a lot more of my story to tell. I just need to, and I still have visible bruises and evidence on my body of the event.
Okay, so do you need paramedics for any reason right now?
No, sir.
All right, may I have your first name, please?
Okay, you don't need paramedics. She said this happened 2 or 3 in the morning on July 8th. If I'm not mistaken, that's the same day they arrived in Florida at the airport. Where the hell have they been since July 8th? If this is July 13th, July 12th, where have they been for 3 days? I thought we could work it out. You thought you could work out what? Being punched in the mouth? That's not. And let me just be really, really clear here. Okay. See, domestic violence, people will tell you it takes a woman in a domestic violence situation 7 times for it to happen before they leave. This don't sound like nobody being held against their will. This don't sound like nobody that's afraid of the person who might be the one in the background giving the instructions and the phone number. It don't sound like I'm trying to do the right thing now. So in other words, I could have told on you when it happened on the 8th, but I didn't. So I want to do the right thing now. I want to tell my story. There's a lesson here. Just all I'm saying for these guys there is a lesson here. This is crazy. I mean, there's no fear. It's not like he's holding her against her will. When he said in the airport, I'm done with you now, it seemed like everything she did afterwards was to get to this point. I want to tell my story. Her family said something needed to be done. You obviously had his mama phone number. She's a lawyer. Why not just call her? Hey, your son punched me in the mouth. And it's not the first time. I'm waiting to get to the point where we find out that this has been happening since Ohio State. That's the only thing makes sense. But again, they broke up. They got back together. She didn't say nothing like that. She make it seem like they've been together the whole time. And that's not the case. That's not the case. And I just, it's given he don't know how to handle it, or it's not the first time. And I don't know. I can't run from it. I don't know why he would just, I don't know, sit there and just voluntarily give out the phone number. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. It makes me go back to what I said. I'm like, are y'all sure this is not happening so he can get away from Cleveland? Because that's what it's given. I'm like, because you giving out the number, you drove her there. She clearly trying to ruin your reputation, talking about you high profile. No, he's not. No, he's not. I think she will be disappointed if he only had $10,000 in the bank and he got cut from the team. Do you think she would go through with it if she knew he only had $10,000 to his name, or everything was in his mama's name, and he gets cut from Cleveland? It's like I have a lot of my story to tell, but the man is only charged with a misdemeanor. Unless the charge has been upgraded, but that's not from what I could see. She has a lot of her story to tell. Does she want to call Tyler Perry and tell him? Because that's what it's given. It's like she been through hell. That's what I'm hearing. That's what she's putting out. I'm still in pain. They charged him with a misdemeanor with a bruise on her chin. And y'all saying she got bruises on her body. I heard he had bruises on his face. So they've been fighting for 3 days. That's what's happening. But she didn't go to the hospital. She didn't call 911 while she was there, and he politely drove her there.
What's the phone number you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
Okay. And you'll be waiting outside in your vehicle?
No, we are outside the building in person.
Okay, so you're standing by the front door.
Correct, where there's a button that says press.
Okay. So I have the call in. We're going to have a officer meet you outside, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. 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 Okay. If y'all say that's not Quinshon in the background, who phone is she use? Did she walk to somebody's house? Why? Because when you call 911, they come to you. So who is we are outside? We are by the door. Who is we? Because they said they were on vacation. So how did another third party get into this? This whole situation is weird. Y'all sure this is not about him getting out of this, getting away from Cleveland? Awesome. Awesome. You've been abused, but awesome is the last word that you use when you talking to the cops. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm seeing what y'all saying because I'm not convinced. This whole situation is weird. That might be why he said, I just want to put this behind me, because it sounds like a nightmare. She went back to Florida after going home and meeting with family. She went back to Florida. What you mean she went back to Florida? Does she live in Florida, Fort Lauderdale? I thought it was at they said they were at a residence. Was it an Airbnb? Let me know, because I'm not understanding there. 400 Circle Media, salute. How you doing? If everybody hope all is well, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Hit the like button. It said the timeline is confusing. Yeah, it is confusing. It's like she said what happened in the airport. I didn't get the impression that was 2 and 3 in the morning. I got the impression that was broad daylight. And then they got out the car, and then they went to Burger King, got out the car. Then I'm assuming they arrived. See, there's cameras all over the place, which could basically tie in this timeline. So I agree with you. Happy Days, it is confusing. Yep, the guy in Portland got 8 years. I don't know what happened there, but I know he just got 8 years. It said a family member escorted her back to the okay. So you mean to tell me they were in Florida and she left Florida after the incident happened, and a family member, they went back to Florida to file a report? Why did they go back to Fort Lauderdale to file a report? Why didn't they just call 911 before they left Florida? So a family member went back with her to file a report. So Quinshon was nowhere around. I'm assuming he went home. That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. You could have called that on the phone in the airport. Okay, I see what you're saying. So a family, so that wasn't Quinshon. Now we know. Somebody said it's a family member. So a family member escorted her to file a report. Her family keeps coming up a lot. It said, I think if she had told the mother, it would have not escalated to disposition. I mean, the question is, why didn't she tell his mom? Why did she call his mom? You know, I'm gonna tell y'all what it's starting to give. Premeditated. It's starting to give premeditated. Unless she comes out and say, this is the only reason it's not premeditated, okay? If she says the entire time from May to December, he abused her, people know, but she didn't file a report, that he kept doing this repeatedly. He tried to talk to her family, his family, and nobody, including his mom or his dad or anybody at Ohio State, could help the situation. And then they break up in December. Then they go on to win the Natty. He get drafted. They tried again in July, or end of June. And then he take her on a trip for her birthday to Fort Lauderdale. While they in the airport, he says, oh, wow, I can't believe you. I'm done with you. And she gets in the car with him. And then he pulls over to the side of the road. He get out, she get out, call his mom and say nothing. Get back into the car, but the back seat, she say he's still beating on her from the front seat to the back seat. They go to Burger King. They eventually leave Burger King and she get back in the car. And then they go on vacation. The vacation ends. She gets back home and her family escorts her back to Fort Lauderdale to give this story. That's what we supposed to believe. I don't know who in her family, but unless this has been happening since Ohio State in the brief 6 months they were together, and this is Quinshon Judkins' first girlfriend, it might be possible that somebody in her family thinks that there's more to gain here. Because this is crazy. Why would you go back to Fort Lauderdale when you were already in Fort Lauderdale? You weren't in fear the whole time you was on vacation. That's like being in a restaurant, eating the majority of the food they bring you, right? You eat 7/8 of the plate. And when you get to the end with just this much left out of this much, you like, I don't like the food. It's not good. Well, why you didn't say nothing before? That's why the officer, you heard what the officer said. So you didn't make the call. You didn't go to the hospital. See, without going to the hospital, there's no record to say what really took place in terms of fresh bruises or whatever. You now have an outdated, dried up bruise. We don't know what really happened, right? When he says, I want to put this behind me, I go back to what he said in the airport. I'm done with you now. And then everything that transpired afterwards, including the text that he saw from the family that made him say, oh, wow, I can't believe you. I'm done with you now. How did they get to the car, the rental car? That don't make no sense to me. And this call don't make any. And you know what? And I feel like them going all the way back to Florida was trying to strengthen it. Like, you know, this is really serious to the point where we're going to come back to Florida and tell about this. I couldn't tell why he was here. What? And he said, I'm done with you now in the airport. It's given he wanted to break up with her. It's given Xavier Worthy. It's given Xavier Worthy. So, and in Shannon Sharp's case, he had a court date. The accuser's lawyer didn't even show up. You know what that says? All of that bluffing, I'm going to sue you, this, that, and the other. He offered her $10 million. I think he might have upped the price and settled out of court so that the lawyer don't show and the case is dismissed. This one might be just like it. Because that's what's happening here, right? I think a lot of people are seeing that these guys are settling out of court. Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson settled 25 cases, 24 cases, or 23 cases with one still pending, or 24 cases with one still pending, right? That's the one in Houston that if you just read the court docs, there's nothing there. She even says she wasn't coerced. So we don't even know who keeping that case going. But I feel like people saw that, right? Retzloff's situation. People think the young lady dropped the charges. No, they came to an agreement. What do you think the agreement likely involved, right? I feel like, and that's why when Maxwell Harrison signed his contract, somebody came out on him and the police investigated and said there's nothing there, but they trying it. And they trying it with civil statute. They trying it, right? This one says she wants to press charges, but you could even hear the police asking, well, why didn't you, do this? So why didn't you do that? Like, it's just really weird, right? It's just really weird that you would be in. That's why I said domestic violence is not the right charge here. A battery might be. I believe there was probably an argument. I do, based on what happened at the airport. But I don't think she was just standing in the corner and he's just beating on her. That's not, no, you weren't in fear for your life. This don't sound like a pattern of behavior, right? So I don't know. We're gonna see though. Let's see. It says she saw the money grab. Cassie got trying to duplicate. It sounded like she was reading from a script. It sounded like to me, I agree with you that people see Cassie got paid. They see Deshaun paid. They see these athletes paying. They see people don't like these stories to be in the news, so they pay to make them go away. And I just feel like the numbers of these things are starting to uptick. It's not a coincidence that he just got drafted and he signed his contract yet. And like I said, I think it will be interesting to see what happens if he really don't have no money in his name. And then let's say he is not playing for Cleveland or anybody else in the NFL this year. Would it be one of those things where is it worth it? See, it costs money to sue people. Filing a police report, is that to make me pay you? This is one case I would go to court with. I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'll meet you in court. Because he can prove I said I wanted to end it. Now, we don't know how they got to the car. We know she said when they were in the car, he punched her. Did he not want her in the car? Was he kept stopping because he wanted her to get out the car? I mean, we don't really know, but there are cameras. So this is a case, go to court. Go to court. Now, if you got a problem with being abusive, this case ain't going to save you because you're going to end up back in it. So if this is one of those things, you just want to go to court and either be better, get help, or fight for your reputation. Because it seems like this family seems to be going out the way to come at him. And I don't understand why, if he said, I'm done with you, didn't she just get to go back? She was already in the airport. Just stay in it and go home. But 3 days later to come back, it just makes it seem like there's a lot more here. And that's the impression that she's giving. And I feel like it's intentional. I do. I feel like it's intentional. Let's see what it says. It says unknown from Bama. Oh, so she's from Alabama? That's what you're saying? Are you saying she's unknown from Alabama? It might be. I think she should have told the mother. I don't think it would have escalated. I think that's why she didn't tell the mother. I do. I kind of think, do I think that he hit her? I think that they got into a fight. That's what I think. Let me tell you that's why I said I don't necessarily think domestic violence is the right word in this situation. Mind you, I mean, the fact that he was only charged with a misdemeanor, it sounded like Xavier Worthy's situation. There was a fight. He found out some things, just like Quinshon Judkins. He asked her to leave. Quinshon Judkins said, I'm done with you. When I'm done with you comes out and we standing in the airport, no, you're not, or whatever. How am I going to get home? Or I don't know, it's something there. I don't think it was when I think of domestic abuse, because see, domestic abuse is serious. And a lot of women be in a situation where they can't leave, they can't escape, they afraid for their lives, they think they're gonna get life gonna be terminated. They don't want to tell on the person because they think something gonna happen. This is not that. This sound like two people got into it, and and they both probably mad. Maybe he wanted to leave. I still don't know how she got to the car. If I'm done with you in the airport, see that right there, that's crazy, right? I'm done with you. I'm confused as to why he said that. And then she realized it was about the text because he probably said, I saw the text messages. But I'm gonna just go ahead and set it up for you, right? This said it's premeditated. I'm like, babe, here, hold my phone. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. But before I hand him my phone, hey, count to 20. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and send a text. He holding the phone. I'm in the bathroom. When I come out, he got an attitude. I know why. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Oh, wow, I can't believe you. Oh, those texts are not true. Those texts are not true. And see, you never know. You never know. She might have wanted the fight to start right there in the airport. It didn't happen, did it? There was nothing about it that said, I mean, we know it would be on the news if there was fighting in the airport. It was, oh, wow, I'm done with you. That came out of her mouth. That's all he said. And then she said she didn't know why. I'm like, you don't know what was in your phone? Why he even got your phone? I'm telling you, this situation is just, she gonna need to be, I feel like she's trying to paint it as there's a history of this, or they've been together for a long time. And this behavior isn't new. When she said her family told her something needs to be done, I was like, so this has happened before? Because if the something that needs to be done is y'all gonna go separate ways, and what else is there? I mean, honestly, if this is the first time this happened, and your family is like, something needs to be done, your family wouldn't tell you need to stay away from him. What's the something that needs to be done? High profile male? He's not high profile. What's the something that needs to be done? Most family people, girl, you stay away from him and keep it pushing. Am I lying? Am I lying? That's what would happen. In most cases, stay away from him. But the question is, painting it as you ain't do nothing. I'm not sure about that. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure about that. The way he said it, I'm done with the way he said, I just want to put this past me. As if, look, I tried to break up with her. She didn't want to break up with me. And she followed me and I didn't want her in the car. And she kept this, that, and the other. I'm just ready to be done with this. That's what his response is giving. That's what his response is giving. So I don't know. She building it up. She gonna have to have a story that this didn't happen before. That's the way she building it up. I have a lot more of my story to tell. Okay, well, tell it. But he's not a high profile male, so those statements go together. Those statements go together. He's not a high profile male. I don't. And with her saying that, it makes me go, so if he's not really a high profile male, how much of your story do you have left? It said everybody knows who she is. If you follow these college football, Ohio State won the national championship. They make millions of dollars from signing with the Browns. And he ain't even signed his contract yet. He has not signed his contract. That's why I asked, is this a ploy to get away from the Browns? Because it's crazy enough. It's crazy enough. There's no sense of urgency in none of those calls. Definitely not that one. And the statement neither. Like I said, domestic violence is strong for this situation. Because if she had pictures from previous incidents, he would have not been charged with a misdemeanor. He's only charged with a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor battery is bruises. Domestic violence is because a relationship. I ain't 100% certain about a relationship either. I know that they had a relationship. She was in a relationship with him. But this particular trip, I'm not sure. That's where text messages come from. Text messages will help establish a timeline in relationship. Miss Anyway says, sounds like a setup. It does. It sounds like the Maxwell Harrison situation, where a young lady actually probably got involved with the guy overnight, right? And decided and maybe he can call her back the next day or the day after that or the day after that. And she like, you know what? it happens. And look at the timing, right? Look at the timing. I don't know. How old is she? She sounds older. No, I don't know. I couldn't tell how old she was. BJ says, I need the camera footage from the airport. A lot can happen in 5 days. Right, right, right. And she's like, I'm still in pain. You know what it's given to? It seemed like to me her family thinks that there's more here. And she going along with it as if they didn't convince her that, girl, he play ball, he high profile. He's not high profile. See, it's the high profile thing that's a problem for me. I have lots of more of my story to tell. He's only charged with a misdemeanor. She told that to them on the phone. That means when they came out and did the report, all they saw were minor issues for a misdemeanor. So it's just a little bit embellishing here. He's not high profile. They didn't see nothing more for her story to tell other than a misdemeanor. He only got domestic violence because at some point there was a relationship. Y'all sure this ain't about Cleveland? I ain't convinced. I'm not convinced. He's supposed to be reporting on Friday, it says. It says he's reporting on Friday with the rest of the rookies. He hadn't changed nothing. So I'm not convinced this don't have nothing to do with Cleveland. He needs to run far away from her and any other woman that comes his way. He needs to focus on football in his career. I agree. Just stay single, buddy. Just stay single for a while. It's okay. Just say no. Just say no. You got to be more selective. She sounds suspect. Yeah, it sounds suspect. So when y'all said it was her family, I'm like, okay. But when y'all say they went back, so she went home and then went back to Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, why would you go back to Fort Lauderdale? It said, question, when did it begin? Giving me a bit of stalker. Yeah, I don't know. It says she talking like they were in the long term. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She's trying to paint a picture that she was the happy wife. They had a happy life. He took all the money. She can't leave. He holding her hostage. He been beating on her for 12 years. She don't have no self-esteem. She can't leave. So I'm scared of him. So I'm going to wait till we fly all the way back home to my home state. And I'm going to let my family come back and go to Fort Lauderdale again so I could tell the Fort Lauderdale police. That's what she's giving. And I have a lot more of my story to tell. They dated 6 months. And I would think that if they dated 6 months and this kind of behavior isn't new, we would have heard about it. We would have heard about it because he had money then. He didn't even sign his contract yet. He has a Keynes endorsement. Let's see how long that lasts. It's given he wanted to break up with her, like Xavier Worthy. He found out something. Xavier Worthy found out something. Quinshon found out with something. I'm done with you right here in the airport. Don't have any idea how the hell we get to this damn Lamborghini. But BJ said it. I need camera footage. Camera footage. I called his mom, but I didn't say nothing. But you were so afraid of him, you had to wait till y'all go back home from this vacation and you return to Fort Lauderdale, which costs money, time, effort, and energy. That's how important this is. And he only charged with a misdemeanor. Somebody tell me this have everything to do with him trying to get out of Cleveland because it's the only thing that makes sense. It is. It does. He's reporting on Friday. It said code words for them folks. Right. I'm supposed to be scared that I couldn't do it while he was there. You could have went outside when he was asleep at some point and called 911. Exactly. Why would he do that and not lawyer up first, then turn himself in with his lawyer? Hell, he might have lawyered up. I mean, I wouldn't lawyer up first either if I tried to set this up, I would lawyer up first. I would just let this go. But that wasn't him in the background. They said that was her family member. So if that's her family member, then this might be what it looks like, right? A situation where somebody thinks somebody's family is clearly involved in stoking the fires and thinking something has to be done, and the something is pressing charges, and that's what she did, and it's a misdemeanor. If she do any kind of reading, Xavier Worthy had a felony, and he's still in the NFL, and he actually did strangle the girl. But the girl was the aggressor. and they dropped the charges. Now, why do you think they dropped the charges? Because there's proof that likely she was the aggressor, like he said. I don't know if Quinshon Judkins is the kind of person that would, if he has a history of this, he is gonna say, I just want to put this behind me and nothing else, and act like it's nothing, but it is gonna affect your contract, and he just gonna sign whatever's in front of him. But this situation is just a little weird because they broke up in December, and then suddenly they get back on a trip, and we don't know if it was a friendship trip or. But she definitely painting a picture like I was a happy wife for years, and I've been quietly dealing with this abuse, and he's an abuser. That's what she's painting him as. And if she don't, and he only got charged with a misdemeanor. And if she got those pictures in her phone right now, then she would have pictures from Ohio State in her phone. She would have said that then. It just sounds like a crazy weekend, but we don't know that either. Again, when you eat 7/8 of the food on the plate and then you call the waiter over and say, no, I don't like this. It makes you look like, well, why you didn't say nothing earlier? Why would you eat most of it? Why would you go on this trip? Why would you stay? Why wouldn't you just go back home from the airport? Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you just call 911 from the airport? You could have did that for sure. Who the hell drive their victim to the police station? This make no damn sense. None of it make no damn sense to me, Tony. I just was like, huh? Do you think it makes sense that she was already in Fort Lauderdale? She went home, wherever the hell that is. Let's just say Alabama, Ohio. Let's just say Ohio. So let's just hypothetically say she lived in Ohio because he went to Ohio State and that's where they dated. So hypothetically, she lives somewhere in near Ohio. They traverse all the way to Florida for a vacation, get into it at the airport. He say, I'm done with you. Somehow they end up in the Lamborghini Urus, and 3 or 5 days later, depending on who you ask, she's still in pain, didn't report it, didn't go. In fact, she went home first, back to Ohio or somewhere near Ohio, and then her and her family come back. And I want to do the right thing now. The right thing. What's the right thing to do? It's like her family had to force her to do the right thing. She better have some footage going back to Ohio. That's all I'm gonna say. Otherwise, they building a mountain here. They building a mountain here. I'm like, her family said something needs to be done. See that right there? That don't sit right with me. That don't sit right with me. Then they went through all the trouble to go back to Fort Lauderdale. So where was he arrested? Where was he arrested? Was he actually in Fort Lauderdale, or did they have to go to Alabama? Because his driver's license, his court document still got his address in Alabama, as a college student's address should, until they move into their own place. Which means when they were living in the family way, he still had his mama address, his parents' address on his driver's license, because that's where his court documents are tied to. So when they arrested him, I saw a photo of him coming out with a jacket over his head. Did he have to turn himself in to Fort Lauderdale? Was he still in Fort Lauderdale? Are y'all sure that wasn't him in the background? Y'all said it was a family member. I need a link because I need receipts. I need receipts. I'm like, because I was getting ready to go listen to Quinshon Judkins' combine issue of interview so I could hear what he sound like. Because I just didn't have time to do it, but I had it on cue, believe me. Because I was like, is this him? I'm like, because I thought this was Fort Lauderdale. Ain't no damn way. She left Fort Lauderdale, went home, got an uncle, and came back to Fort Lauderdale, especially if she from up north. The things that make you say, let's listen one more time. One more time. One more time.
Ramifications, can I help you?
Yes, I'm currently outside the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, and I just called 911 because we can't get into the building. But a police officer or the person that answered the call told me that I could call this number, and someone was able to walk out the building for me to talk to someone to file a police report. Is there any way someone could walk out the building to talk to me to file a police report?
Okay, are you at the temporary station on Cypress Creek Road?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What address did you give for where the incident took place? Because that's the way it's supposed to be entered into the system.
The incident that I want to file was at
what's that address?
In Fort Lauderdale. I can look up the address.
Hang on, before you do that, when you spoke to the other operator, did you?
Did she say I could look up the address? So it wasn't the Fort Lauderdale airport at the rental car station? Did y'all catch that? She wanted to look up the address at Fort Lauderdale. So the incident I want to report, everything in the news said it happened at the airport, at the rental car counter. I could have just said that. So everything that she's talking about now is in addition to the airport. That's what I'm getting. So he punched her in the mouth at the airport. You could easily say, hey, it was the Lamborghini rental car counter. I don't know, exotic cars rental car counter. And they do have cameras. Anybody got a Lamborghini waiting on you, they're going to make sure you the one get in it. They got cameras. So it will be interesting to see. Now, if he did this, then yeah, he turned himself in or whatever. And believe me, that he probably got a pattern of this if he that easily turned himself in, didn't issue a statement, and because he know they got cameras too. So this little thing right here, she said the incident I want to report. Okay. And I don't know if she knew they were recording this call. She could have.
What's that address?
In Fort Lauderdale. I can look up the address.
Hang on, before you do that, when you spoke to the other operator, did you give them the address?
No, she gave me this number and she said that someone could come out and talk to me for me to file a police report, but I can give you the address of where the incident took place.
Hold on 1 second, because I'm trying to figure out if a call was entered for you already, in which case, yes.
It wasn't because
it should have.
Okay, so she called his mom, but didn't tell his mom what happened, but she never called 911. That's what we have established here. She called his mom when they were on side the road, but she didn't tell his mom what happened. They went on with their trip. And y'all are saying that's her family member that came back with her to Fort Lauderdale after she went home to make the statement. That's what y'all are saying. I need receipts of that, because if not, I think it's Quinshon.
I'm not sure if it was, but she just gave me this address.
Okay.
And I know y'all keep saying snow, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I hate to tell y'all.
So we're going to start from scratch and see what happens. Hang on 1 second. What happened?
I had a high-profile male that I was in a relationship with put his hands on me.
When did that happen?
This happened 3 days ago.
So that would have been the 9th of July?
It was the night of, I can tell you right now. Sorry, I'm trying to go in my phone.
You're fine. Is there a reason that you didn't call the day that the incident occurred?
Yes, there is, because I thought that we could work through it, and obviously we couldn't, so I'm trying to do the right thing now, but the situation happened on Tuesday. Monday, it's early Tuesday, so like around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Tuesday.
Okay, I'm gonna just go out on a limb here. When they were in the airport, it likely was not 2 or 3 a.m. It likely was not. Most rental car counters closed, and some are 24 hours. Maybe they had concierge service. I'd have to look at the Fort Lauderdale airport rental car counter and see what exotic places are there and see what the hours are. But I feel like she's talking about something else. I feel like she's the story that was put in the news took place in a rental car counter. Unless that was at 2 and 3 in the morning, and they stopped at the Burger King on side of the road at 2 and 3 in the morning. But it sounds like she's saying even when they got to the place together, something happened. That's what I'm getting. What are y'all getting from that?
Because that would have been July 8th.
Correct.
Did you have to go to the hospital for any medical treatment?
I didn't go to the hospital for medical treatment, but I will say that I am still in pain, and I have a lot more of my story to tell. I just need to, and I still have visible bruises and evidence on my body of the event.
Okay, so you need paramedics
And on my
for any
phone.
reason right now?
No, sir.
All right, may I have your first name, please?
All right, they didn't say her name, so she's still saying has evidence and bruises on her body, but they only charged him with a misdemeanor. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. They heard this before we heard the story. They took her report. They said they had to do an investigation. This is what they're talking about. After she gave this report, they let them in the building to talk about it, and then that's when they determined that you could see a bruise on her chin, that they had a photo in her phone, that he had punched her in her arm and on her leg, that is still a misdemeanor. There were no life-threatening, whatever. And since y'all said that's her family that came back with her, that's probably what it is. Because I'm listening to this, I'm listening to her talk. So okay.
What's the phone number you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
Okay, and you'll be waiting outside in your vehicle?
No, we are outside the building in person.
Okay, so you're standing by the front door.
Correct, where there's a button that says press.
Okay. So I have the call in. We're going to have a officer meet you outside, okay?
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
The awesome gets me. The frame of mind tells you everything. Awesome. You definitely ain't in danger and you ain't worried. So you know, I don't know who he got himself involved with. Yeah, I don't know who he got himself involved with, but somebody. It say he has NIL money. He does, because he had an endorsement with Canes. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Yep. What nationality is she? Can't tell. He signed 3 years. He signed this contract, Tony. 3 years, 2.965. Did he sign his contract? Let me know. Somebody let me know if he signed his contract. It says Max says Coach Prime has an assistant for business. Okay. At the Burger King. They were at the Burger King. Now, I don't think they open at 2 or 3 in the morning. That's what I said. He's not high profile. He's not high profile. That right there, a high profile man that I was in a relationship with, put his hands on me. Why didn't you call the police or 911? Because I thought we could work through it. What? So somebody beat you up and y'all thought y'all could work through it. How do you think you could work through abuse? Who thinks that? Maybe people think that. I thought we could work through it. Yeah, I don't know. That's just a situation that he gonna have a problem though. You know, but if they got pictures and they established that he the one that did these things, he gonna have a problem because that's problematic. He could have just walked away at the airport. But it sounds like to me that if he don't have a history of this, he definitely be in put in a situation. But then again, he could have had a history of it. They never talked about it, and she knew what his triggers were. And it's something her family didn't seem to care for him very much, or she said something to her family that he saw that text message, and that's what. Oh, I can't believe you. I'm done with you now. But then they go on together. That just don't make no sense. So I don't know what she thinks that is the gain here, but I don't know. He's not high profile though. Yes, he's going to Cleveland, and G. Bush said that he will not get a 100. He just said what? He will not get what? Let me know, Clara, because I don't know what that means. It says he feeling the pressures of the NFL culture to have a woman on your arm, so he made the decision to hook up with her again as friends this time. They were supposed to be friends. Somebody else said that too. Somebody else said that. Yeah, I don't think he signed his contract yet. Max said, trust me, it's BS. I caught a domestic violence charge because her clumsy ass fell down the stairs. Oh, Lord. Nah, that's the thought. That's the thought. That's the thought. A lot of these athletes and some actors put their money in their mother's name. It's like, I ain't got nothing for you. Right. And to me, like I said, if it came out in the news that he was cut from the team, I just feel like her family got a whole lot to do with this. Right. And she say they living in a family way. Well, why your family so involved in what y'all got going on? And I think something needs to be done. Something. Okay. All right. And you had his mama number. Why you ain't call her? Or you called her. Why you ain't say nothing? You see, but I thought we could work through it. So she thought after he punched her in the mouth. So she's the victim here. She's the person. She don't, he does all the thinking. And she like, well, yeah, he beat me up, but I thought we could work through it. Most people don't feel like that immediately. Maybe after 6 months if they're struggling. But no. No. I'm serious. No, that's just not normal. I don't really know too many people, even in real domestic violence situations, they only stay because they can't leave. This is not that. This is, I could have left in the airport when he said he was done with me. Yeah, he should have left her standing there. And I would have gave her, you know what? I'm the kind of person, I tell you what, I'm going to give you $400. Figure it out. That's all. And that's it. I'm out. Because see, he's just learned a lesson. See, you said you was done with her in the airport, but you still let her tag along. And everything after you let her tag along is being used against you. You should have left her standing right there in the airport when you said, I'm done with her. Go to the ATM, get $400, a cash app of $400, because I know you got it, and send it to her and say, figure it out. I'm done with you. You're wrong. And that's it. That's it, because I find it hard to believe if they fighting, or she say he hit her in the car. Imagine somebody punch you in the face. All you gonna do is get out. You gonna stay in the front seat until y'all get up the road. He pull over because I'm assuming y'all arguing. Then he get out. You call his mom, but then you don't tell her nothing. Then you get in the back seat. Did you call his mom to threaten him and make him think I'm gonna tell your mom on you? I mean, he has a close relationship with his mom. Otherwise, why didn't you tell her what was going on? Clearly, mom didn't hear no fighting in the background. Then y'all stop at a Burger King. You still in the car. Because why? You thought y'all could work it out. Y'all ain't married, boo. Y'all are not married. What are y'all working out? When the kids? You staying together for the kids? No. What are we working out? Were they even in a relationship on this trip? I heard that it was her birthday and he wanted to take her out. See, that's what, stop looking back. Just keep it pushing. You broke up for a reason. Keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. And now it seemed like her family have a lot to do with her actions, right? It's like it's being painted as she's too weak to think for herself. So they're telling her she has to do the right thing. And the right thing is to press charges against him. Okay, maybe it is, but he ain't high profile. And that don't mean if you press charges and all he get is a misdemeanor and then he go back to work, then what's going to happen? See, because then you didn't get the result that you wanted. But if you get a police report, he get a charge, you take that and turn it into a lawsuit. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of there, because they said something needs to be done. Something like what? Because misdemeanor, if that's what this ends up and it maintains and stays as a misdemeanor, they could tell him to go take anger management classes. And then what? What was the goal? When the family says something needs to be done, what was the goal? How about stop fooling with him? How about when he punched you in the face, get out the car, get on the plane and go? See, you didn't do none of that. You kept it moving because y'all thought y'all could work it out. By work it out, do you mean stay together? Because in the airport, he said what? I'm done with you. So you thought when he said he was done with you after the text from the family that y'all could work that out, but you didn't mind being punched in the face. But since it didn't work out, I'm going to go ahead on and do the right thing. This is a lesson for him. He should have just cash apped up $400 for a flight and bounced. Because you got to think about now somebody is saying something, you are already upset They not, you don't know what people's motives are. If the motive is for people to see you upset in the airport, that could work to her favor. Well, y'all saw him in the airport, how upset and aggressive he was, but see, he wasn't like that. Then it turns into y'all getting in the car together. Then you on side the road. Then you at the Burger King. And now we hearing about the incident I want to report. Oh, so there's multiple incidents. You see, I have a story to tell. Oh, okay. But yet it's still a misdemeanor. So when they don't get the result they want, what's going to happen next? Because something needs to be done. Who are they to determine what the something is? And she make it seem like she just sit there and let him beat on her. I don't. A lot of these athletes and some actors put their money in his mom's name, right? Because he might not have no money. She stayed to get that Birkin bag for her birthday. What? It said when he did not buy it, she went off and called the Pope on him. That's possible. Your channel is on fire tonight. Thank you, Meg. In her mind, because a duck must be the money. That's crazy. She's being coached. Yup. I'm going to go with somebody in the family. She better have pictures for days. That's all I'm going to say. Mac, I'm just kidding. Be careful. I have 2 sons. I said, leave first or call me and I'll come get you. Right. That's why when they said they were on the side of the road, he got out the car. She got out the car, called his mom. I was like, okay, normal pattern of reading. She called his mom, but then his mom is a lawyer. Did he call his mom? Because he was driving. He stopped. He got out. So I'm thinking he called his mom. He seemed pretty level-headed, but this situation right here, I hope he got videos of some things like Shannon Sharp. See, Shannon Sharp case was, and it's funny. I told y'all how, today the accuser's lawyer didn't show up because he either settled with her or chances are that's probably what happened. That's what these people are looking for. They're seeing it happen. If you just have evidence that y'all was together, the person don't want to go through the public scrutiny. They'll just settle with you, right? Cassie's Diddy sued with Cassie. Everything still came out. And he didn't even get convicted on any of those charges, right? Now, imagine had he known that. See, he didn't want everything to come out, but it came out anyway. So a lot of people on the strength of this is going to embarrass you. You might as well settle with me. Take me to court. Take me to court because I'm going to subpoena all your text messages. And since you think you slick, I'm going to ask for all your emails on all your accounts that you have. And then I'm going to want photos from before the airport, deplaning. I'm going to want photos at baggage claim, the rental car counter on side the freeway, Burger King, going up, pulling up to every damn toll road we pass, pulling up to the place where we had reservations while we was there every day, coming and going. I want when we left, when we dropped off, and how you got to Fort Lauderdale. I want everything. I want text messages from this year to last year. I want all of it because I am not convinced that you have not had conversations about something that this was going to happen because we broke up. We broke up. She was not with him on draft day, but she was with a high profile dude and she was not sitting there on draft day. If so, she was not on camera, but his mom was. And it's even documented. I think it was saying that they rekindled a relationship. Did they really? This is the lesson. This is the lesson. This is the lesson for him, for sure. You got to be careful who you let have access to you, and you can't trust everybody, even if you think you know them. Even if you think you know them. He should have gone to Wuhan instead and got it for okay. Salafi said allegedly she was coerced by her relatives and they colluded to attempt to extort some dead presidents from him. Yeah, that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. They think he got more money than he got. They colluded to, yeah. And some people will be happy with $25,000. Hey, I'm not doing all this for $25,000. Because if you're going to sue him, then you're going to need a lawyer. So they might just want him to pay up right at this stage. And that could be what it is. Bibb said, I think she should have went to the doctor. She has a report from a medical professional. So she has a report of a medical professional from the injuries when they occurred. The other thing is she was not sure when it happened. Right. And that will be ingrained in my mind. Tuesday. Tuesday. Someone was coaching her. I think her family has a lot here. I think her family's seeing something. That's why she's an ex. Yep. Yep. It said everyone hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button for me. She is, I got anxiety and I stutter. No, that was not him. Oh, okay, that was not him. Okay. It said it was the mouth chin area. Yeah. Yeah. People in the chat are saying just leave. Right. Just leave. Like it didn't started in the airport. That planes were still flying. Just go back the other way. I don't believe she left Florida. They broke up. She went her way and called her family and they flew to her and took her to the station. I can see that because leaving Florida to come back don't make no sense. You can file a police report online. If you if you file a police report in Atlanta, first of all, when you call 911, let me tell you what you're gonna hear. Welcome to Atlanta Police Department. Please hold. Thank you for calling Atlanta Police Department 911. Please hold. That's what you're gonna hear, and then they're gonna call you back. And when you ask the file, first of all, do not call Atlanta Police Department and asking about filing no damn police report. You're gonna piss them people off. You're supposed to get that non-emergency number, and then you just make a report, and it's digital. You just do it online. You don't have to go to the police station to file no report. You don't have to do that. And if that wasn't him waiting to be arrested, then I don't know what that was for. So it says, "Oh, hey Jackie, how you doing?" It says, "I would have left the airport. I would have left from the airport. I'm done." Yeah, I ain't making it past the airport. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you tell me we done in the airport, you saw some text messages on my phone, and I knew that they was there because I know what they said. I know the conversation I've been having with my family. I'm not gonna fight this. I'm gonna say, okay, you know what? Fine. Let me get my luggage and go. If I'm wrong, if I know I've been talking to my family about you or saying something, you ain't got to tell me but one time you done with me. Because if that's how you feel at the airport, then if we go on, it might not get no better. She's saying after he punched her in the mouth at the airport, she thought they could work through it. It's the high profile for me. I ain't gonna never get past that one. Cause that ain't what I'm seeing. I'm like, It said the police officer was confused. He was like, so wait a minute. Did you already call 911? She's like, no. Because he was thinking clearly there's a 911 call here, right? No, it wasn't. She just wanted to file a police report. I can't find any pictures of her. Nope. And I looked it up. It said he was very secretive about his girlfriend. He didn't have no prom pictures from high school. So, you know, it said I was an officer for 5 years. Trust me, just leave. Yeah. Because if they say something has to be done, right? The family's coaching her, saying something has to be done. He's been charged with a misdemeanor, domestic violence. The charge is gonna be dropped. Are they gonna be satisfied with that? Is that the something you meant? It's a misdemeanor. It's not a felony, right? If it was a felony, it would be serious. And she's saying, I got more of my story to tell. They didn't buy into it. They didn't buy no more than what they said the first time. His charges have not been upgraded. She has not provided any further evidence other than she went to the police station, so they saw the photos, and they still walked away with a misdemeanor. Yeah, there's no pictures of her. I haven't seen her. It says if she's from Montgomery, Alabama, she's they sound black here. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's possible. Cena said Snow would have handled it differently. I would have just called 911 while we were there. I mean, what are we doing here? It said if a man punches you in your chin or face, you should make your exit immediately. I don't know why she even left the airport with him if he punched her in the chin or lip. Right. That's what I'm saying. So somebody, I'm like, well, he told you y'all done. And you know it's about the text messages. And she said it wasn't true, or whatever the messages said. And then she say they getting a rental car. I don't know how I get from I'm done with you at baggage claim to the Lamborghini. Them not making no sense. It's not making no sense. I'm like, you didn't say nothing. I'm like, he just said, I'm done with you. You like, what? And he like, well, I saw these text messages from your family. She's like, oh, no, baby, they're not true. And he get in the car, and then he just punch her in the face. And then she just stay in the car. She don't get out the car. He drive off. Believe me, they are cameras. They are cameras. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to figure out a story or dates. She's a competent person. How you forget so much, right? Her story is full of Jay say it ain't true. I tell my sons, they are 41 and 35. It's not worth it. Just walk away. And I'm with you. You're right. Just come correct, right? Just move on. Just move on. Remember the movie It's a Thin Line Between Love and Hate? Yep, I do. I do. Sweet Pea say awesome. That's the crazy part. The awesome at the end, I'm like, the frame of mind to use the word awesome. When you are reporting that somebody has been beating on you against your consent. I'm like, and you just standing there and you didn't fight back, you didn't do nothing. You got somebody came up there from your family, y'all went to the police station, and you end with the word awesome. The frame of mind ain't fear. The frame of mind is not trauma, because awesome is not the word. It's just not. It's just not. It's just not. You know, there are people who are in these situations for real, and they will tell you, when you are making a police report after you've truly been traumatized, awesome ain't gonna come to mind. Matt says suspect, right? Sweet Pea, okay, maybe. I don't think so, Sweet Pea. I don't think so. It said trying to create a story to get some cash. The new get rich quick scheme. It does. It seemed like people realize that putting these things out in the public is what makes people pay, right? But again, he hadn't signed his contract, but he might have more than she have. He might have more than she have. Because the family saying something needs to be done. Why are you fooling with him? If y'all already broke up, why are you fooling with him? Especially if he had them kind of problems. Something needs to be done. Okay. Well, how about not fool with him, right? If it never happened before, if they already saying something about him before that, when he like, I'm done with you, shit, that's the something that need to be done. He done with you, so go back home. But nope. But like she said, she told the officer, well, I thought we could work through it. What? So you wasn't scared. You wasn't in fear for your life. Okay. You was willing to keep going after all of this. But now it's important to make a report. Oh, okay. Okay. It's just sad. That's why I said, if he was in a WNBA, would she be reporting this? I think a lot of people don't know what we have learned, right? One, that these guys don't get paid right away, right? They hadn't even been paid yet. You can look it up and see he has an $11 million contract, but most people don't know that is divided up over 4 years. Most people don't know they don't get the first game check until the first game. So maybe somebody's thinking he got $11 million sitting around somewhere and he could be relieved of at least $1 million of it. That's what I think. Do you think there should be a statute of limitations on domestic violence cases? Interesting. I don't know. Domestic violence can be really extreme. I don't know, because some women fake their death to get away from domestic violence situations. And they have to live apart from their kids, because if they around this it's crazy, right? That's why I said this is not that. This is not that. Domestic violence is extreme, right? You talk about people who go to, how you have to exchange your kids on the weekends and stuff. There's a story. I know this one lady's story. She went to, I think it was a white lady. She went to drop her kids off, and she was killed by the husband, right? And some states think that when the guy files for a divorce, that the woman is no longer in danger. No. See, I some people have issues letting go. And that's different, right? This is not that. This girl was not held against her will. Because if so, I don't know how she got away. I definitely would have called 911, right? I don't know why she didn't call from her phone. That's interesting too. Did y'all notice she asked the guy for his number? She didn't call from her number. Was she trying to keep her identity quiet, and she didn't want the police to know? I mean, eventually they're gonna ask you your name and you have to tell them. I don't know why, unless he took her phone. But she wasn't in that state of, I had to get away from him. He took my phone. It was none of that. It was none of that. There's no sense of urgency. None. And awesome. Like, I'm happy. About what? That ain't no happy situation. That's not. It said that's not Quinshon. His voice isn't that deep. I heard him speak before. It could be her father. Okay. So Quinshon did sound mild-mannered when you listen to him talk. If pictures aren't dated, who knows when it happened? Well, most pictures in your cell phone have a timestamp. So phones, if you have an iPhone, I don't know about Androids. iPhones automatically timestamp the phone, but you can change it. Amber, yeah, his voice isn't deep. Remember when Flacco was joking about him not looking like his voice? Okay, there we go. What's your phone number? She didn't have a phone. That's what I'm saying. She asked the other person. She called from somebody else's phone. I don't know why that would be. Reported it was at 9 p.m. in the morning, and he was arrested that night at 9:30. So was he still in Fort Lauderdale? I remember her in Seattle. I remember hearing Seattle. Russell Wilson left immediately. He wasn't playing no games. Oh, really? FUHD. It was crazy, bro. It says G. Bush said that he won't get the 100%, but he will still get between 80% and miss about 4 to 5 games. So have they decided to suspend him? Let me know. It says Judkins need to leave those. I'm telling you, I don't. That's not what it's given to me. Selmore, that's not what it's given to me. I'm giving proper us. That's what it's given to me. And the family. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. BJ said, I wonder if the Lamborghini has a camera. I was thinking it might, like Teslas do. It's a high-end car. It might actually have footage in it. But then again, that would be an invasion of privacy to not know. So it might, but maybe she don't know. Maybe that's why it's a misdemeanor. That's a luxury car you're renting, and he knew it and she didn't. Now there you go. I'm gonna go with that. That's very possible. Somebody could Google that. Do Lamborghinis have cameras? Even if it's a rental, it might. Civil lawsuit. That's what I think. That's where this police report is going. See, that's what I'm saying. If you know that you're gonna sue for this type of thing, you're gonna need a police report. And that's where that's the first step. Filing a police report. And the outcome of that may or may not matter, because I think, was it OJ Simpson? He was sued. He won the criminal case, but he lost the civil wrongful death case. So civil lawsuits have a different burden of proof, and the police report is the first step, right? So even though it's a misdemeanor. So there you go. So the Browns aren't doing anything. No, they're not going to do nothing. Think about it. Xavier Worthy had a damn felony, even though it was dropped in March, but it was still out there, and they didn't say nothing. They've seen this so many times. She got to be for Canton, Ohio, from sure. It's possible. Right. It's the type of person. It's the type of person. It said, hey, Kiel, how you doing? It said, y'all notice Mary Kay ain't say nothing because he's not a quarterback. They talk more about damn parking tickets, speeding tickets about Shador than they talking about this. She ain't say nothing about the Sean situation because she can't. They gave that man all his money back. So that's all I'm going to say. Atlanta. Yeah. It said she didn't go to the emergency room because her injuries are not that serious. Right. That's why she didn't go to the emergency room. She didn't call 911 because they would have came to the door. I'm like, if you wanted him to go to jail, you would have just called 911. And if you got this going on and that going on, he would have went like that. He would have went down right there with bruises. I'm pretty sure of it. Unless Florida's different. Now I know Florida's different, but I'm pretty sure fresh bruises, he would have been gone. So I don't know why do it like this. The report said it happened on 7/7. She's saying 7/9. I don't forget the dates. Anything crazy happened to me. Yeah, it sounds like she's saying it's another incident, because she said the incident I want to report, but I don't know. I'm like, we talking about the one in the car? Or are we talking about the one later on? Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure out why she thought she had to get in the car with him, though. I don't think he forced her into it. Listening to this setup, I'm good. Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. It sounds like it. It said the family want money. That's what people are saying. It's a money grab. And go to Burger King. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. He asked for a runner. What? Max say he asked for a runner. I don't know. It said, okay, awesome. Yeah, you don't end that kind of, that's a very stressful situation. That's not something you end with awesome. That's a call you really don't want to make. You know, it's assistant urgency, but it seemed like she called 911 and they told her that this is not an emergency, so call the non-emergency number. Yeah, it was no fear there. No fear there. But that was it, guys. So we listened to it. We done made our assessment. Yeah, this situation just strange. It's just strange. It's just strange. We'll be back tomorrow because it is Wednesday. And we should be a little bit closer to finding out. I know Shador's back in Ohio. I know he's scheduled an event. I think some kind of fun fest. He has some type of fun fest set up. So we'll check in with our guy and see what he has going on. A lot of people want to know what Cleveland is going to do. People are posting that his jersey made $250 million. $250 million. You would think Cleveland would be out of their mind to let Shador go, but the NFL clearly has an agenda. 17-32 playing keep away with QB1 for Shador for sure. I saw a photo of Milroe today. He doing like this, like he, don't say nothing, or he not gonna say nothing. They think they got him buried on the depth chart for 2 years, and Cam was somewhere working out. I haven't seen him lately, but I'm pretty sure he probably back in Tennessee, or almost back to Tennessee. So that's it. The story is just weird. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. This was awesome. Thank y'all for sharing your perspective. I wish Quinshon Judkins all the best. Like I said, his mom, for y'all that don't know, his mom is an attorney, and he looks like he has a high-powered attorney out of Miami. So, and if there's a pattern in history here, I hope he gets help, because these situations can follow you and continue if you do not. All right, so we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.